we are Team Rocket, and our toy name is Baller Shuttle. So I'm Nitin, Waleed, David, and Ari Hodes. So I'm gonna tell how we went to that concept. So earlier we tried to make a shuttle that would shoot off a launch pad, but since the SLA material is not strong enough to hold, we rejected that idea. And the other one was to make a ground vehicle that would convert the spring energy into rotation energy to drive the wheels. And so we came across this scamper technique, and we combined those two toys ideas to make the final concept. So this is basically a ground-based shuttle vehicle with a payload launching mechanism. And now Ari is going to talk about the mechanism.
Thank you, Nitin. The toy uses 3 different pullback motors, which are powered by an internal spring. When one pulls the toy in reverse, the spring is loaded, and then the vehicle is powered when it's released and the spring returns to equilibrium. The idea is that if the shuttle crashes into something, there's a mechanism that will eject the payload from the cargo bay on the space shuttle. So nose button depressed equals ejection platform activated. Here's a picture of the button. It slides in the nose hole of the shuttle, and loose tolerances allow it to slide freely. And it actually is basically married to a sliding release arm, and together they function as a single unit inside the shuttle. The space underneath the front part of the sliding release arm is where the front motor goes, so the motor itself limits the sliding movement of the arm. And from here, I'm going to hand it off to Waleed to talk about the ejection platform and spring anchors.
So this the sliding release arm that Ari was talking about hooks underneath this ejection platform, which is actually supported by springs. And when this sliding arm is hooked underneath it, the springs are being compressed, and as soon as you push the button, this hook unhooks and converts the potential energy from the springs into kinetic energy, which pushes the whole thing up. Now, the payload doors that you see up here on the shuttle are resting on these pillars on the ejection platform. These, as the ejection platform moves up, these doors are pushed open, and since they're free swinging and hinged, they just fall apart, fall open, and whatever you put on the ejection platform just shoots up. Here's our final assembly, and if you go to the next slide, we have a mechanism video. Basically what this shows is you can see the button moving in, and you see that moving back, and that thing opens.
So we had some unexpected setbacks and design flaws, and the first one was basically the SLA material was more brittle than we expected it to be in some of our small parts, so they ended up breaking. And then also we made oversimplifying assumptions that our springs would just move in the axial direction, and they would actually displace backwards when we pushed the button, so we had to make some modifications to make our toy work. So the solutions that we came up with was for the actual spring anchors in the bottom we broke a couple. We really couldn't do anything about it because they were so small, and they had broke through the holes for the pins to hold the springs in. So we just hoped that there would be at least one that was still good by the time that we were presenting, so that it could still serve its function. And then to keep the springs moving in the axial direction, we made a cut in the sides of our model toy and added a wall to keep the platform from moving backwards. And so stuff we would have done differently is we had a difficult time actually mounting our motors inside. So we would put guides to, I guess, make it easier to mount the motors in there. And we'd have larger springs and larger spring anchors so that wouldn't have broke. And our button sticks. And so if we had a larger diameter button or made it a little stubbier, then that might improve its performance.
Want to show the demo? Okay, we pull it back. Right, goes forward. Wait.
And then after it goes forward, if it would hit a wall, then those pop open and shoot stuff out.